Let's jump right into this explainer. I've always wondered exactly what goes into building those crazy, engaging finance videos that just totally dominate the internet. Well, today we're actually looking at the raw source code. We've got this fascinating blueprint, a very specific set of instructions designed to build a perfectly structured finance script. The core instruction: act as a professional YouTube scriptwriter, a finance educator, and a storytelling expert, literally all at the same time. I mean, talk about wearing multiple hats, right? But as we break this down, you're going to see exactly how this prompt engineers total success right from the ground up.
What's super interesting about this source material is how it locks in the ultimate goal before a single word is even written. It explicitly says the content needs to be beginner-friendly, highly engaging, and optimized for audience retention. Basically, in the digital education space, if you can't hold your audience's attention, the actual value of your information doesn't even matter. This target right here acts as the North Star for the whole scriptwriting process we're looking at.
So to figure out how this prompt actually pulls off that retention, we're going to break the instructions down into 5 phases. We've got the script framework, hooking the audience, the core content strategy, tactics for audience retention, and finally, the final CTA.
All right, phase 1, the script framework. Let's look at how we build that foundation. The blueprint lays down the law right away. It clearly dictates the destination channel, personal finance and investing, and gives the exact topic, 7 money habits that keep you broke. It is incredibly specific. It tells the writer exactly who they're talking to and the precise pain point they need to hit. There's absolutely no room for wandering off topic here. The framework demands laser focus right out of the gate. And it doesn't stop at just the creative stuff. Check out these technical standards. The content has to be 100% original, completely copyright-free, and SEO optimized. It's essentially demanding this perfect hybrid of a creative writer and a technical SEO genius. You have to weave in those keywords so search engines can actually find the thing, all while keeping the material totally authentic and legally safe. Oh, and the source also gives us a very specific mathematical formula. It demands a word count of 1,200 to 1,500 words. Why? To perfectly nail that 7 to 8 minute video target. Honestly, this is a crucial metric for a pro scriptwriter because it dictates the entire pacing. It ensures that content is meaty enough to actually be valuable, but concise enough so the viewer doesn't just, click away out of boredom. Moving on to phase 2, hooking the audience and capturing that attention immediately. Notice how the instructions demand a very strict 2-step opening sequence. You can't just start with a boring hello and welcome. No way. Step 1, you gotta hit them with a powerful hook. You grab their attention by poking at that pain point right away. And only after you've locked in that attention do you move to step 2, the introduction. Basically, you have to earn the right to even introduce the topic. So how in the world do you pull this off without sounding like some dry economics textbook? Well, the prompt explicitly tells the writer to act as a storytelling expert. You aren't just rattling off financial facts. You're crafting a narrative right from that very first hook to pull a beginner audience directly into the exciting world of personal finance. All right, let's get into phase 3, the core content strategy. This is all about actually delivering the value. The meat of the script has to focus on exactly 7 bad money habits. Not 5, not 10, exactly 7. And structuring information into a numbered list like this is a super proven psychological trick. It gives the viewer a crystal clear roadmap of what's coming, and it creates this really satisfying sense of completion as they mentally check off each habit. But here's the catch. You can't just list the 7 habits and move on. The writer has to back up every single point with real-life examples, practical solutions, and common financial mistakes. This is the secret sauce that turns a simple listicle into highly engaging, actionable advice. Think about it. If you just tell someone they have a bad habit, they're probably going to get defensive. But if you give them a relatable example and a practical way to fix it, boom, you become incredibly helpful. The really crucial point here is the delivery. All of this content, the habits, the solutions, the examples, must be delivered through the lens of a professional finance educator. It can't be condescending, but it also can't be too casual, right? It has to strike that perfect balance of a trustworthy, authoritative expert who genuinely just wants to help the audience learn. Which brings us to phase 4, tactics for audience retention. How do we actually keep them watching? Look at how the instructions contrast the educational content with actual production cues. The writer isn't just typing out the spoken words. They are explicitly required to provide B-roll ideas and on-screen text suggestions. This shows a massive understanding of visual media. If you want to keep retention high,
You have to fight visual boredom. The scriptwriter is basically playing director here, making sure the visual pacing perfectly matches the educational pacing. On top of that, the prompt demands these things called curiosity hooks. These are little scripted elements strategically dropped in to maintain interest throughout the entire runtime. Think of them like breadcrumbs. You might tease the most surprising money habit coming up at number 7, which pretty much guarantees the audience stays glued to the screen to find out what it is. It is just a brilliant structural tactic.
And finally, phase 5, the final CTA, closing the loop. Much like the intro, the ending has a very strict sequential flow. Step 1, deliver a really strong conclusion on the topic. You summarize the value, give them that one big takeaway. Then, and only then, do you hit step 2, the specific call to action to like, comment, share, and subscribe. The golden rule here, deliver that final piece of educational value before you dare ask the audience for a favor in return. This whole breakdown gives us such a fascinating look at the hidden architecture behind digital education. I mean, it's clearly not just about turning on a camera and talking, right? It's a meticulously crafted formula that blends storytelling, finance, and psychology into one package. So I'll leave you with this thought. If you were handed these exact rigorous constraints today, do you think you could write the perfect script?